On the third and final day of heated arguments in the Supreme Court, a health care law that could extend insurance for everyone is still on the line. Good evening. This is CTV News for Wednesday, March 28th. I'm Natalie Wilson.
And I'm Curtis Crutchfield. That story ahead, but first we begin with the latest on the Trayvon Martin case. Well, it's been 32 days and still no arrest in the murder of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. His mother and father are pounding the pavement seeking answers in Washington, D.C. They want charges brought against the man who has admitted to killing their child. Denise Douglas spoke with Trayvon's parents in the district.
From community rallies to the nation's capital, Trayvon Martin's parents continue to call for justice for him.
We're thinking about next steps and the plans that we need to take right now to try to get some justice for our son.
They spoke to lawmakers on the Hill yesterday. Today, we asked them about information leaked from the Sanford, Florida Police Department that their son had been suspended from school for having marijuana residue in a bag.
It's totally irrelevant to this case. The things that have been leaked out had nothing to do with Zimmerman's actions. It didn't have anything to do with him murdering our son.
Martin was visiting his father when he was gunned down by George Zimmerman. Zimmerman claims it was self-defense. Since then, there have been conflicting stories and new details, including that the lead investigator recommended that Zimmerman be charged with manslaughter right after the shooting.
That's the same feeling we have been feeling, that something just wasn't right with the case, and we just appreciate some of the things that are coming out now.
Do you feel your visit here is having an impact on?
As they push forward, many questions swirl about the investigation, what exactly happened, and whether Zimmerman will ever face any charges. Their attorney weighs in on that.
Well, it's 32 days now and no arrest.
Before heading back to Florida, Trayvon Martin's parents will attend another event here in D.C. where their son will be honored. Among the people expected to be there is the Reverend Al Sharpton. I'm Denise Douglas, CTV News.
The FBI, Justice Department, as well as a Florida grand jury are looking into the case.
The U.S. Supreme Court continues to wrestle over the constitutionality of President Obama's health care mandate. Justices are in the midst of considering at least three options: keeping the law intact, killing it entirely, or eliminating the insurance market changes that are dependent on the mandate. This morning, Governor O'Malley spoke about the issue.
One thing that the Supreme Court has never struck down is the individual mandate for auto insurance, which virtually every state in the United States has. So best would be an approach where we move forward as a nation to do what every other nation has done, to extend universal health care. But if we are left to proceed on a state-by-state basis in an elective partnership with our federal government, we will elect to extend health care coverage. We'll elect to make universal health care happen here in Maryland because we believe it's the only way long-term to control costs and to improve outcomes.
26 states and business organizations are challenging the law. The High Court's decision is expected by June.
Also in Annapolis, advocates rallied to pass clean water legislation. Several bills would reduce pollution from wastewater treatment plants, stormwater runoff, as well as poorly planned development and septic systems.
This year in the legislature, we have three major bills that we're focusing on: the septics bill, the stormwater bill, and the flush fee bill, or the Bay Restoration Fund. All three are in motion. Two of them passed the House and are in the Senate, and I have the septics bill in the House, and they look like they're in very good shape to pass with a lot of support.
What we'll see is more fish, more shellfish, cleaner water, an ability for children to swim in the water even after a big storm. We'll see better health impacts for humans and better health impacts for the fish and oysters and crabs that live in the bay.
Maryland is at the halfway mark to goal set 20 years ago for restoring the Chesapeake Bay.
Police are searching for one of two suspects involved in an abduction and robbery in Riverdale last night. Authorities say around 10:30 Tuesday evening, a man was arriving at his home in the 5200 block of 59th Avenue when he was approached by two armed men demanding money. The man's wife watched the incident unfold from a window and called police.
The victim was ordered in his own vehicle. He was taken to an ATM machine on Kenilworth Avenue. There he was ordered to withdraw funds from his account. At that point, the suspects returned in the same vehicle to the area where the victim was initially abducted. Officers were on the scene at that time. Once the suspects saw the officers, they fled and crashed that vehicle. They jumped out of the vehicle, ran away while officers followed on foot. At least one shot was fired towards officers by the suspects. One suspect was later apprehended. A weapon was recovered. We're still looking for that second suspect.
Any descriptions on that suspect that's still on the...
The victim was not injured during the incident. Police believe robbery was the motive. Anyone with information on the second suspect or this case can call the Anonymous Crime Solvers hotline at 1-866-411-TIPS.
You're watching CTV News. I'm Curtis Crutchfield.
And I'm Natalie Wilson.